Hey everyone, welcome to Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through card breaks and the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell, and today we're opening this mystery pack. Ooh, it's a mystery pack of vintage baseball cards. I bought this on eBay for about $10, and there's 30 cards in here. Other than this card on the front here, I have no idea who's in this pack. I don't know what years. I don't know. I have no idea. It's a mystery. So it's a mystery that we're going to try to solve together today on Wax Pack Wisdom. I'm going to go through all the cards in this and try to fly through it. If there's guys I don't know, I'm not going to talk too long about them, including this guy in the front here, Tim Foley. But let's just see what we get. I'm going to open her up. I have no idea. Looks like a 1970 card on the back there. And let's see what we got. So the first card, like I said, is this gentleman, Tim Foley. I don't know anything about Tim other than, obviously, he played for the Expos in 1973. This is 1973 Topps. And I love the uniform, and I love the glasses. But other than that, don't really know anything about Tim. 1973 card. Gary Sutherland. I don't really know anything about Gary, other than that it seems like the Astros sort of had a style of hat that they then brought back later. So I'm not going to really spend too much time on him. Rico Petrocelli, 1974 Topps card. A little bit of an off-center cut. He's listed at third base here. Member of great Red Sox teams, including the 1967 team, where he played shortstop and then later on moved to third base. Played with the Red Sox for about, 15 years or so. Well-known player. Well-known in the area, continued to live in the area for years. I believe he was involved with the Paw Sox for a number of years as well. So Rico Petrocelli, good ball player. I'm going to leave that one kind of off to the side. Okay, Jim Ferry, I don't really know anything about him other than, again, another Expos player from the 1973 set. Larry Dierker, this is a 1970 card. Larry Dierker was a longtime pitcher for the Astros and also a longtime, I believe he was a broadcaster, he was a coach, spent many years in the Astros organization. So pretty well-known guy. I'm going to leave him over there as well. Willie McGee. This is, I believe, a Willie McGee rookie card, and I have this in my collection. And I actually also have this in my collection as well, this Gary Gaetti. These are both rookie cards from 1983 of Willie McGee. I'm pretty sure this Willie McGee may have had a rookie card the year before, but Willie McGee burst onto the scene in 1982 with the Cardinals. And, great base stealer, member of the sort of Whitey Herzog Cardinals teams. He, again, was a rookie the year that they won the World Series in 1982. So, and then obviously went on to have a long sort of distinguished career, played with the A's. He played with the Red Sox briefly, but I think he's best remembered for his years as an outfielder with the St. Louis Cardinals, especially early on in his career. He was like more or less a five-tool guy. He could do pretty much everything out there. So this is a good one. It's a good find in a mystery pack. And same thing with this Gary Gaetti card, which I'm pretty sure that this is also a rookie card that I also have in my collection. Gaetti, longtime member of the Twins, played around a bit. He I believe ended his career with the Red Sox. And I want to give a shout out to Not Gaetti on Twitter or on X, on the X app. Somebody who is a fan of old time baseball stuff. Somebody that I interviewed on the Pesky Report earlier in 2023. So anyway, Gary Gaetti, a well-known member of very good Twins teams in the 80s and in I believe into the 90s, and played for a few other teams as well. So anyway, that's a good card. I don't know anything about Hal Lanier. This is a 71 Topps. This is Duffy Dyer. I don't really know anything about Duffy either, but again, good 1970s Mets card, 1970 Topps Mets card. This would be the year after they won the World Series in 1969. Don't really know anything about Steve Whitaker. Dave Johnson. So this is, think of him as Davey Johnson, but he was a great second baseman for many years in Major League Baseball, and then ended up being a manager. He managed the 1986 Mets that had this guy on it, Ray Knight, the third baseman for the Reds at this point. He ended up being the third baseman for the Mets that won the World Series in 1986 when Dave Johnson was the manager. So Ray Knight was a longtime big league veteran. This is a 1982 Topps card of Ray Knight. Randy Hundley, I think I have. This is 74 tops. Pretty sure I have a Randy Hundley card from somewhere in my collection. And again, I mentioned this in the 1974 tops break that I did, that you can kind of tell the airbrushing their job on the traded cards. It's kind of a funny thing to see. But Randy Hundley, catcher, I think he had been with the Cubs, and yeah, he had. There you go. He was traded. They sent George Mitterwald to the Cubs in exchange for Randy Hundley. I actually have the George Mitterwald card from 1974 as well, and George Mitterwald was a favorite of Billy Martin's. I don't know about anything about Willie Smith. This would be the Cubs, 1970. This would be right at the end of the Ernie Banks era. Don't really know anything about Jerry Kenny. Again, these are all pretty much, most of these are early 70s cards. This is a 73. Another 73 here. A lot of 73s in this pack. Wes Parker was a first baseman for the Dodgers. Probably would have been the guy that preceded Steve Garvey. Elrod Hendricks, he went by Ellie Hendricks. He was like a catcher, kind of a backup catcher, I guess you could say, on some of the really great Orioles teams of the 70s. And they won the World Series in 1970, the Orioles. This is a card from the year that they won the World Series. They lost to the Mets the year before. Don't really know anything about Bart Johnson. But the next card is a Hall of Famer. So there you go. Pull a Hall of Famer in this. And this is a really sharp 1985 All-Star George Brett card. This is, I guess this would be an 86 and an 85 All-Star Game commemorative set of George Brett. Wow, that's really cool. That's a great card. This is the peak of the George Brett era, I guess you could say. 1985 was the year that the Royals won the World Series, and he was the best player on the best team in baseball. And George Brett, 3,000 hit club, spent his entire career with the Royals, mostly played third base, played a little bit of first base, a little bit of outfield here and there. Lefty hitter, could hit for power when he needed to, but that wasn't necessarily his game. He would hit for average. He hit 390 in 1980, which was probably his best season. If he had 5 more hits that year, he would have hit 400. And the Royals went to the World Series that year. They didn't win. But George Brett, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest third basemen to ever play. And that is a great get. So he'll probably be, unless we find another Hall of Famer, that'll probably be the one that we throw in at the end there. Buddy Bell, part of the Bell baseball family. I believe his sons are David Bell, who is currently the manager of the Cincinnati Reds. And I think Buddy Bell's dad was Gus Bell, so a lot of baseball players in that family. It's pretty cool. I don't really know anything about Willie Crawford. Again, another 73 card. Lee May was a power-hitting first baseman. Spent years with the Reds as well. At this point, he was with the Astros. This is 1974. Kind of look at the back of his card there. You could see some really good years, hitting 34, 39, 29, 28 home runs. Mostly with the Reds. He believe he was traded kind of before the really great Reds era, although he played on their World Series team in 1970 that they lost to the Orioles. Tommy John. Well, you've certainly heard about Tommy John. He had an experimental surgery that rescued his elbow, that took a ligament from another part of his body, and fixed his throwing arm. He was able to have a long career as a result of it. And he also, despite the fact that his name is remembered mostly for the surgery, he had a great career and a long career, and that's because of the surgery. But not quite a Hall of Famer, but I have a few other Tommy John cards as well. Sandy Alomar, this is the father of Sandy Alomar Jr. and Roberto Alomar, Puerto Rican baseball legend, and quite a good player in his own right. All right, Ed Crosby. Ed Crosby was, really good player, I believe. But we're gonna move to the next card, which is another great player from a great era, and that's Don Baylor, who is one of the greatest designated hitters in baseball history for sure. And had a great, long, distinguished career, played with the Red Sox late in his career. I think, this is a 73 card, so this would be pretty early for him. This could very well be a rookie card. I'm going to have to look this up after. But he was a tremendous right-handed power hitter for many, many years in Major League Baseball, and somebody who was well known for their hitting prowess. So anyway, Greg Nettles was a member of the great Yankees teams of the 1970s, a hard-nosed third baseman, and just a World Series champion a couple time over. Well-known. Red Sox fans, not really a big fan of that guy. Lloyd Moseby was a really good, this is a 1981 card. This is one of the only 1981s I've seen in here. Very good outfielder, very good defensively. This could also be kind of an early, maybe possibly a rookie card for Lloyd Moseby. So, that's a good find. Mike Hegan, don't really know Mike. This is a Cardinals team card from 1973. This would kind of be past their sort of great era in the late 60s. They still would have had Bob Gibson on that team. And Dick Deitz, don't really know Dick. So anyway, best card here, definitely the 85 All-Star George Brett. So I hope you enjoyed this. This was a fun one to do. Mystery pack. We solved the mystery, I think. A lot of cards from, especially 1973. And thank you very much for watching this edition of Wax Pack Wisdom. Please check out our links below to all of our social media channels, and also our link for nonprofits and organizations we like to support. We hope that you would consider supporting them as well. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like. Leave us a comment. Was there somebody that maybe I glossed over in this pack that you have a story about or something interesting? We'd love to hear from you. Please leave us a comment, and most importantly, if you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button on this video. Check out our channel. Check out all of our other content. We try to make great content for you based off of card breaks and the cards we love in baseball history. So thanks again for watching this edition of Wax Pack Wisdom. Hope you enjoyed it, and take care.